Hello and welcome to Golden Drip. I am your host, Megan Milinovich. I missed last week, which is part of the reason of why I'm recording this podcast today, or I should say why I chose the topic of today's podcast. I'm talking all things about my Austin trip. Before I dive in why I went to Austin last week, I wanted to give a Symbiotica supplement update. I don't know how many months it's been since I started Symbiotica, 2 or 3 maybe. Actually, let me look really quick. I'm gonna look at my podcast episodes because I know I talked about it on one of them. Okay, March 6th and it's June 4th I'm recording this. So what is that, 3 months, right? April, May, June, yeah, 3 months. Okay, yeah, perfect. I felt a pull to talk about that today and to see effects of anything, a minimum of 30 days, 3 months, you really should start to see effective supplements you're taking. 6 months, truly you should see the biggest bang for your buck. And if not, maybe you should add in or remove some stuff to get optimal effect of the things you are supplementing your diet with. But I've been taking Symbiotica supplements to focus on primarily gut health, but other benefits of the supplements I've been taking are also skin health, healthy aging, and there's one more. What is it? Immunity too. So I have removed and added in supplements from Symbiotica during this 3-month period. I removed Parax, P-A-R-A-X, because I started taking Nutrafil. I didn't want to take so many pills. It was an intuitive pull to remove Parax as well. So I removed that. So what's been pretty consistent the whole time though is vitamin C, glutathione, and liquid colostrum, if I'm saying that correctly, and if I'm saying glutathione correctly. But also recently I started adding in their super greens. So I won't comment on that, but on the rest of them, I have noticed, a change in digestion, overall feeling good and happy with just like what I'm putting in my body. I don't feel as bloated, and there are energetic root causes to that too of why you bloat, which I address as well, right? Everything's 100% energetic and 100% physical. So you can address the energetic root causes and address the physical aspect of shifting the bloat and digestion and whatever gut health issues as well. Not saying I had gut health problems, but with intuition, I could see gut health wasn't its maximum potential good. So that's why I started supplementing with gut health. Why I take these supplements in the first place has everything to do with an intuitive pull to optimize my health and wellness. And I feel like I've been noticing a difference with my skin. I've had red spots on my skin. Let me see if you could, it's hard to see on the camera with makeup, but I've noticed they've gotten a little less red. I'm not gonna say they're gone for good, but right, because I get facials and things like that, but I've noticed changes in gut and skin health. So overall, I'm happy with Symbiotica. I'm doing, at this point moving forward, monthly check-ins with my supplements, because when you order Symbiotica, it's a monthly delivery. So stay tuned, because there are a lot of other supplements and health brands out there. It's so overwhelming, so I'm just kind of dipping my toes casually in it. But right now, Symbiotica feels good for me. Not saying it'll feel good forever, just because my health changes, products change, new products come on the market. But for now, for the next month, unless I say otherwise, I'm still taking Symbiotica. Now let's get into why I went to Austin last week. Why miss the pod? I hate missing the pod, but I was like, if I'm going to be there, I'm going to make the best of it and not be inside recording the podcast. I love doing that, but it was an intuitive pull, like, hey, if you're only gonna be in Austin for 3 nights, 2 days, are you really gonna spend one of your days recording, editing, posting, doing the podcast and all the things? And I wasn't. So decided to nix the podcast last week. And why I didn't preemptively record an episode is because it was so whiplash crazy fast how from the time I got the intuitive pull to making the decision to actually going, I swear God, it was a span of a week or less. So, we go with the flow. That's what I'm working on also, is adaptability and being playful and curious with what I'm doing, because that is literally the definition of being playful, is also, yes, like fun and doing things you enjoy, but also having a curiosity to, hey, does this work or not? Hey, how did this make me feel or not? Hey, can I quickly turn around the time I get the intuitive pull to go to Austin, to actually making the decision and booking, to then actually going, hey, how does that make me feel? Can I successfully do that? Things like that. That is the definition of playful. At all times, having a curiosity for what you're doing, how it's making you feel, right? You're asking questions about it. If you were a kid, if you were a scientist, which we all have those traits within us, this childlike curiosity, this scientist-like questions, A/B effect, does this help or not? That's what I was doing with Austin. That's what I was doing with not recording the podcast last week. So I went to Austin last week. So 2 weeks ago, I get this intuitive pull, hey, go to Austin. And Austin has been on my mind. I should say Texas is low-key always on my mind because I see myself ending up there one day in the future. I'm not saying any time soon. I'm not putting necessarily a time frame on it. / I love where I live in Phoenix so much. It seems crazy for me to leave it. But do I see maximum fulfillment and maximum potential of fulfilling all things in my soul contract if I do eventually move to Texas? Yes. Can I also fulfill that when I'm in Phoenix? Yes, it feels only like 89%. And when I say 89%, with intuition, I can measure percentages. So when I say staying here in Phoenix, it's an 89% maximum fulfillment that I could achieve with my soul contract, with things like the financial abundance, the family, the love, the clients, the things like that. That's 100% getting everything I am already contracted to receive, right? Because you are contracted to receive these things before you even come down to earth. But then there are certain steps and tools and things you need to take to obtain those goals in entirety. So staying in Phoenix, I could see 89% I could obtain these goals in their entirety to their maximum potential. With Texas, I see 100. So there's always low-key in the back of my mind, Texas is in my future. Again, hard to say that because I do love Phoenix and I love my house and I love all the things. So as part of my curiosity to go to Texas, because, okay, let me see Austin, let me scope it out. I haven't been there in a decade. And when I went there a decade ago, I went with friends. I was young, I was a lot of partying, it was a lot of drinking. I love that for me. But me going now, it would open Austin up into a different lens or light. And where you live actually has a lot to do with your soul purpose, with your business, what you're meant to create and fulfill in this lifetime. So living in Phoenix has a huge part of who I'm contracted to help. Idea generation, creativity, where the business thrives the most right now, which actually is Phoenix right now. My business thrives the most in Phoenix right now. So not only was going to Austin a personal thing, right? If I was going to potentially move there or not, but your personal life and your business, your soul pool, what you are meant to do in this lifetime are like this. And if you're not watching on the video, they are hand in hand. They are very much interconnected with each other. So it's also a business pool to go there, to idea generation, meet people, creativity vibes, right? Because sometimes I haven't traveled in a while, so it also was nice to leave. You know, when you travel, sometimes you just come back with clarity, or even more ideas, or, oh, I saw this here in Austin. Oh my God, I wouldn't have seen that in Phoenix, right? It's a totally different city. So wow, maybe that was the spark that really catapulted my business to the next level, right? So there's a lot of curiosity going into Austin and why I was intuitively pulling to even go in the first place. Because it really was, hey, I got this pull, I swear to God, on a Tuesday, and I left the following Tuesday. It was just like, hey, go to Austin. I set up the logistics, got the docs there. I'm like, okay, I'm going to Austin. Which, speaking of soul pool business, that all is intertwined with money. That's all directly related with money. Money likes it when you act on an idea, and whether it's 100% successful or 100% failure, there's good and bad in everything. That's universal law. Let's just establish that right here today, as if I haven't in a million other podcast episodes. It is universal law. There's good and bad in everything. That's the universal law of balance. That is the universal law of reflections. So to sum it up, I was like, let's go to Austin and see what the fuck is up. Part of me is excited. Part of me is antsy. Part of me is a little anxious about it because I don't 100% know what to expect. With intuition, I have the benefit of foresight, but I'm also just kind of going there thinking, whether this is the greatest thing in my entire life or the suckiest thing in my entire life going on this trip, I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm gonna learn by the physical action because, guys, that is the biggest, I swear, takeaway of life is, yes, with intuition, you can see and mitigate potential issues. That's the beauty of it. How many issues have I mitigated because of intuition? I've seen before that I'm in alignment with skin cancer. I've seen before that I'm in alignment for knee injuries. I can see why my dog is throwing up and how that is directly linked to me and how to shift it so that she's not so nauseous and throwing up. That literally happened this morning. But there is no greater lesson or teacher than the physical, tangible thing, than going out there and just doing it and seeing how it made you feel. And that's where, again, playfulness and curiosity comes into place. I could have seen with intuitive foresight, oh, I wouldn't have liked this about Austin, or I really like this. So like, okay, I could see that. So why would I even go? Fuck that. I'm like, I'm gonna go there and actually get the tangible experience for myself. because that's gonna be burned in my brain better than anything else. Getting that physical evidence, getting that physical experience of how I felt, the lessons I've learned. I'm going to impart that on other people I'm contracted to help, to just follow these pools and get the lesson there. There could be what ifs for days, you know what I mean? There could be what ifs, there could be filters I don't even know yet that I should have put onto Austin that now that I know to do because I went there. So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. So I make this decision Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to go to Austin 2 weeks ago. Friday, I have a mentorship class. Let me just preface all this. I have so much respect for my mentor. He has taught me so much. He's the first one who told me I was intuitive. He is seriously a light being, so brilliant. I go to class on Friday. I go to class for teacher training to keep advancing my intuition. Fun fact, when you are learning something new constantly, that's actually a secret sauce ingredient to keeping you young. I mean, physically young, not just mentally young, but when you are constantly learning something new, you will see your body not age as quickly. It's insane. So that's partly why I take classes as well, to just keep advancing my intuitive gifts. I'm clearly so passionate about that, but also to stay young, keep learning something new. Learning something new at all moments also gives you an edge. That's huge for entrepreneurs. That's huge for business. So I go to class on Friday. And I'm really, really excited to tell him, hey, I'm going to Austin. I got this intuitive pool to go to Austin. I'm laughing because at the time, it was not funny. It's funny in hindsight, but part of in this class is also to, yes, how to enhance your intuitive gifts. It's also really helpful for energetic and physical things to take into consideration when building your business. So I'm telling my mentor this, and he's not saying outright, no, don't go, but he's saying, hey, is this actually in your optimal goodness for your soul plan, your business, to align you the most with your higher self path? However he was alluding to it, he was essentially saying, hey, is this optimal for you right now to actually go there? Or can you just look in with intuition, see what the lessons would be, and shift them and learn them from Phoenix? And guys, I literally wanted to fucking throw up. I was like, I'm going to Yak right now. I have everything booked. The Airbnb is essentially non-refundable. Thank God, actually, with intuitive foresight, I did get travel insurance on Airbnb because the Airbnb wasn't refundable, but with the Airbnb insurance, you could submit a claim. So I was like, thank God I did that, but I'm thinking in my head, it's not going to be easy to get refunded for my Airbnb. I made this decision. I've told people, I have a dog sitter. I'm like, what the fuck? And now you're telling me to not go? I say this because this is someone I pay really close attention to, and my higher self knows that. Your higher self is the energetic version of you, if I had to sum it up. You are your higher self, but throughout life, we stray from our true nature selves, AKA our higher selves, because we take on insecurities, other people's beliefs, wounds that cause us to stray, that cause us to doubt ourselves, that cause us to stray again from true nature us. Why do I say cause us to stray from true nature us? Because true nature us is happy, loves when we're sad, will flip out on someone and see the good in it, trusts us no matter what, and throughout life, we begin to stray from that. It's because we're not taught this work. It's not our fault. So my mentor is like, you shouldn't go. He didn't say you shouldn't go, but he was questioning it. He was questioning how even rooted I was to this thing I pulled for myself. At all moments, every single person, situation, and circumstance and thing, let's just say every single thing is reflecting you, is reflecting whatever you hold to be true in that moment. That is the law of reflections. My higher self in the universe, no. I pay really close attention to my mentor. I look up to him. He's helped me so much. He's obviously has been doing this for 10 plus years. So he has some skin in the game. He has experience, and he's telling me this. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my God. I literally told him multiple times, I'm going to vomit. I was getting so angry in class. I started making chamomile tea. It was fucking hysterical. Okay. Like, you're literally fucking telling me not to go to Austin. Like, what? And I was faced with my Elsie moment. You know, Elsie from the Hills, where she could have went to Paris or she could have stayed in whatever California with her boyfriend at the time. Obviously, in this case, I'm not choosing between romantic love and my job. It really is just between trusting me or trusting someone else. That's the sentiment, which essentially was Elsie's deal too. Was she going to trust herself, or was she going to be trusting someone else to go live in Cali for the summer? So we're talking about it in class. I don't really feel better about it as class goes on, if I'm being honest. My anger gets worse. My puppy even realizes it. She comes up. With intuition, I could communicate with Sophia. That's my mini Bernedoodle. And she's like, Mama's mad. Your dogs are very reflective of you. I'm like, I know. So class ends. And again, I'm faced with my Elsie moment. What am I going to do? Am I going to trust me, or am I going to listen to somebody else? Am I going to do what someone else wants me to do? And I say that, my mentor's not pressuring me to do anything. Was he being really reflective and kind of digging into it a little bit? Yes, because he knows I could take it. I've worked with him, it feels like forever now, but really it's only been a year and a half or so. But he knows I could take it. My higher self is telling him to say all of this to me because my higher self knows I pay attention to what he's saying. I say that because I don't pay attention to a lot of other people in the space. I suss people out. I love that for me that I suss people out. Hey, is this actually in my greatest good to listen to right now? How rooted are you to this information you are providing me? How emotionally biased are you? Like, I'm sussing everyone out who is in this intuitive business to see, are you actually optimal for me right now? Which is, I love, and also something I'm working on. Why do I say I'm working on that? Because I'm also working on just being open and receptive to all information I'm receiving. Any information you are receiving, you are in alignment for. With my mentor, him kind of digging into me, it wasn't in a malicious way. I never want to paint him as this malicious person. It's anything but. If anything, he's playful. He knows I can handle it. So it is nothing to do with him. Is he digging into me and forcing me to just be open to receiving the information? Yes, because whatever you are receiving, like I was 100% in alignment for it. And that goes with anything going on in your life, any area, whatever information is being inputted into your brain, into your heart, into your emotions, into your energetic field. We take on thoughts, emotions, and everything so easily. 98% of your thoughts are not even your own if you do not know the correct if you don't know the correct energy clearing techniques, you're in alignment to hear it. So be open because you can learn very, very valuable information from people, which is also why, yes, I suss people out, but if I'm listening to it still, and if I feel pulled to listen to it still, even though I see it's only 80% in my greatest good, or this person's only 60% rooted to it, I am meant to hear this information for some purpose or reason. It's something I'm working on. I'm wildly stubborn. So, I don't want to put myself on a pedestal. I'm not always so open to what people are telling me. Sometimes I'm like, shut the fuck up and stay in your lane, mind your own business. It's also a really great lesson for me to not just tell people my shit when I'm not so rooted to it. Because if you are not rooted to it, he was reflecting the 5% of doubt I had in going to Austin. But again, my higher self knows, do you want to be 100% in the know, or do you want to be 95% in the know? No. If I'm going somewhere, if I'm leaving my house, if I'm investing in something, I want to be 100% in the know that this is what I should be doing, that this is optimal for me. I want to trust me. So my higher self, right? We're at all moments we're advancing, we're growing, you're pushing yourself. When you are asking for big things, you will be challenged with big obstacles. Staying rooted to my knowing as my mentor and someone I really look up to is doubting that was a very, very hard pill for me to swallow. He's reflecting this 5% of doubt I have in my energetic field right now that I'm broadcasting. My higher self knows that, the universe knows that, so they're like, go get her. Literally, sick her. They might as well have said that. That's how it felt, at least, right? He wasn't actually like going after me. I don't want to paint that picture of him. That's what it felt like. Keywords, I should say. It's not how he was actually being. It's what I felt in that moment, and that is where the reflection lies. The reflection's popping up with my mentor. And the universal law of reflection says that wherever the reflection is popping up in, wherever the trigger is popping up in, is not where the emotional imbalance lies. So right, this reflection's popping up with my mentor. I have to look inward and see, okay, where is this emotional imbalance actually located? Okay, so where am I doubting me? I'm doubting my intuition. There's that 5% doubt living in my energetic field that he is blasting on the loudest fucking ampule. Is that a thing with the stereo? You know what I mean? With the heavy bass. Are you sure you should be doing that? So I leave class and I start folding laundry. It's funny, I was antsy after that. I was wired. So I start folding laundry. I'm like, everything's fine. And what happens is these doubts live deep in your subconscious. So consciously you could be thinking, I'm okay. But your subconscious brings up every single time you doubted yourself and how you were right to doubt yourself and you should never trust yourself. So your subconscious pulls up all of those feelings, all of those memories, and those get amplified so loud to the point where you cannot ignore them. So I'm folding laundry. I'm just like, okay, I'm not fucking okay. I keep saying I'm okay. I'm clearly not. I feel like I'm about to spiral. So I went into this room, laid on the floor. Why is everything better on the floor? You know what I mean? Like, I could just lay a nap on the floor sometimes, but instead of laying and napping, you know what I did? I laid and cried for 3 minutes. And I was like, it's so funny in hindsight. It's not funny at the time. I laid there and cried for 3 minutes saying, I'm a fucking failure. You're a failure. Guys, again, I'm not laughing as I'm doing this. I'm saying to myself, you're a failure. And I'm laying on the ground. I text my parents. I'm not going to Austin. I text my dog sitter, I'm not going to Austin. And I cry and I cry. And like I said, I'm crying for 3 minutes. I snap out of it. I'm like, you're Megan fucking Milinovich. What do you fail at? You've failed at nothing. Tell me one thing you failed at. You have excelled at everything. You've graduated college. You went to the #1 physical therapy school in the country. You graduated from there. You were in the top 12% of your class. You quit your job. You started your own business. What the F have you failed at? So I'm like hyping myself up again. I'm like, you're not a fucking failure. So literally 2 minutes later, I text my parents back. Scratch what I just said. I'll let you know by EOD. Send the same message to my dog sitter. Scratch what I just said. I'll let you know by EOD if I need a dog sitter or not. I'm like, am I saying EOD right? Yeah, end of day. With a million ha-ha-has in all caps. I'm like, ha-ha, yeah, like I'll let you know. My dog sitter is my younger brother's really good friend, so he's known me for a while. So it's like, he's probably used to the psycho. And I got to work. I'm like, let me suss this out. Let me suss out why I'm doubting myself, how much this will actually make my life better, how this will actually improve my business, meaning going to Austin, going on my Austin trip. And I was seeing at the time, okay, the Austin trip, the way I planned it, the way I had it set up was only 77% effective for my business. Why do I say for my business? The business is my highest value right now. Talking to you, building community, anything that has to do with the business and helping you is #1 in my life. So that's why I ask, how effective is this for the business? It could be different for everyone. Is your highest value right now your family, your love life, money, right? For me right now, it's business. And again, with intuition, I could test percentages. So I'm even changing things like the flight, the exact times I'm leaving, getting more clear and specific on the agenda when I'm in Austin. Not saying I'm planning my day to a T, because I hate that too. It doesn't allow for fluidity and flexibility. So I get my ducks in a row. I get it to 98% effective for business and attracting money. Business and money go hand in hand with each other, right? So again, I'm faced with my LC moment. Am I gonna go to Paris or stay in Cali? And I fucking went to Paris. I went to Austin. I'm like, could you imagine if I let someone else dictate a choice I made? Something so big like that. Do you know how many times I've done that in my life, of making a big decision based off of other people's judgments? The biggest one is probably that I can think of off the top of my head is where I went to school my freshman year. My freshman year of college, I went to Western Michigan University. I always wanted to go to the University of Iowa, go Hawks, but I was letting other people's fears around money get in the way. For Western Michigan, I got a bigger scholarship. It was obviously just a little bit cheaper than Iowa. And I went there, I fucking hated it. I actually had the best lessons there and made 2 very, very, very good friends. But do I regret just not listening to me in the first place? Yes and no. I don't really have regrets. But in hindsight, do I think I should just fucking listen to me in the first place? Yes. And that's why I don't regret it, because that was a moment in my life that was literally a nail in the coffin. Always trust you. Always listen to you. God, unless you're just gonna like fucking die when I was in Austin, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm fucking going. I'm going to Austin. So I had my LC moment, except I had my anti-LC moment because I actually did the thing I wanted to do, not what the other person was telling me to do. And I went. And if I'm being completely honest, it was great and terrible. There were things living in my psyche, in my subconscious psyche. 95% of your thoughts, of things that dictate what you do, I'll just summarize it, live in your subconscious and are just things we are not made aware of until we're put in situations where we are forced to deal with it, until they are brought up to the surface. So my higher self knew this would happen. And day 1 when I was there, I literally probably had the worst time. There's good and bad in everything. So I had the best first time. I was like, wow, okay. There were things and fears being brought up to the surface that I cannot take with me to my next up level. That's all any trigger, that's all any emotional imbalance is telling you is, hey, this is actually where you're feeling in some area of your life. You can no longer feel like this if you want these big XYZ things you are asking for. So, in the first day it was cloudy and rainy, and I was using my intuition on where to go, and I just felt like I was landing in areas that I didn't love, that I didn't feel safe in. It was the craziest experience, and I was safe. I was safe with intuition. I'm like, I'm safe, but right? There's a difference between being safe and feeling safe. I wasn't feeling safe. That was a big emotional imbalance that was popping up, is this feeling of safety, also this feeling of trust. Because if you're feeling anxious, that's just a lack of trust in some area of your life. We have 8 areas of our life. So you could be all like, I trust myself with career, but there could be another area of your life that you are not paying attention to that will cause this anxious feeling. I actually post about this in a recent social media post about romantic relationships. There's a reason why you're not attracting your dream desired romantic relationship. 9 times out of 10, the reason why you are not in your desired dream romantic relationship yet is not even because of an issue of what you're doing in the romantic area of life. It's actually due to an issue in another area of life that you are not paying attention to, that your higher self, that the universe wants you to shift so that you can attract this most beauteous, max potential, maximum fulfillment romantic relationship. With these situations I was creating of feeling not safe, not trusting, I mean, I was perfectly safe. For my parents watching, I was safe, don't worry. But I wasn't feeling safe, right? And that's the biggest mindfuck. I know I'm safe in the situation in the city. So you have to look inward and be like, but I know I'm safe, so why do I not feel safe? That is the epitome of reflections. You being in the safest situation, but still feeling on edge, not safe, anxious. And that's because there was another area of my life, not the city, another area of my life where I don't feel safe, where I feel anxious and not trusting, that needed to be shifted in order to attract my next level of abundance, my next level of clientele tier, whatever it may be. Insert whatever goal you have right now. And yes, could I have, again, sussed this out before I went to Austin, gotten the lesson in Phoenix, because I could see that with intuition, and just bypass this day in Austin altogether? Of fucking course. Can I tell you now more than ever how much that lesson is burned in my brain because I went there and physically experienced this, and now have way better intuitive questions and filters to ask about quite literally anything I do, any trip I go on because of this single day in Austin alone? Fuck yeah. That is more valuable to me than me just sitting here and trying to suss it out with the potential or what could have been in Austin. So that was my first day in Austin, and the universal law of balance. Wow, I didn't realize I'd be talking about that so much today. There's good and bad and everything. So I know, and this is, guys, hack. This is a hack. If you are so down or low about something right now, the universe also has no option but to give you something good to lift you out of the dumps. So I know this. So this is my first day in Austin. I was only there 3 nights. I landed the night before, and the night before was fine because I pretty much just got to my Airbnb, went to the cutie little grocery store around the block, got food, got dinner, and just chilled in my apartment, my Airbnb apartment for the night. So this is the first day I'm in Austin. And I'm like, okay, I know this universal law of balance. I'm like, I know I just had the shittiest day, and also is the best day because it really forced me to sit down, and not even just sit down and journal, but sit down and just face some hard truths of things that I'm still holding on to, shift it. I'm like, okay, I shifted it, but also universal law of balance, we love it, says I'm going to have a really good day tomorrow. I can't have 2 shitty days in a row. It's impossible. I'm only here for 3 days, so I'm not gonna have a shitty day tomorrow. And that's exactly what happened. The next day I was there, Thursday, which is funny, that was a week ago today. Oh my God, I feel like I've lived 100 lifetimes between last Thursday and today. But last Thursday, I had the best day. Walked on this cute, it was Rainy Street, so walked on Rainy Street, went to a cute coffee shop. It was sunny out, so I explored a little bit more of downtown and found myself safe in all situations I was in. So right, that Thursday was a byproduct of my energetic work, and also the universe was like, okay, you learned your lesson from being so shitty. We're gonna give you something really good to show you we see you. We see you doing the work. Because that's all it takes also. Just some effort and the universe will reward you. Trusting you and the universe will reward you. Yeah, on Thursday I had the best day. When I look back intuitively, it was 97% effective, my Austin trip and when I say effective is, right, the Google definition of effective is, does this thing produce the intended result? So you'll hear sometimes people say, explosion of greatest goodness or most beneficial. I love those terms too. I use them. But, right, what is the most effective? Is this thing going to give me the intended result the best or not? My Austin trip was 97% effective at aligning me with business and clients and financial abundance, things like that. So many goods and bads from this trip. Yeah, the bad was I had that shitty beyond day. Positives, I learned from it, had the best day on Thursday, got a lot of great content. I'm able to talk about it here on the podcast today. So many positives to counterbalance that negative. And guys, we can mitigate these extremes of high and low if we just start to see the neutrality and everything, which is something I aim to do every day. Even with those high highs, I'm like, okay, just be neutral about it. Neutral is a happy feeling. Because let's flip the reverse of what I said. Hey, if you're down in the dumps, the universe will reward you. If you are so high on this thing, if you're so high about this money you made, about this trip you're going on, like, oh, this is gonna change my life forever. No. Guys, if you are on that high, the universe will create a crash. You will go on the trip and you will have the shittiest trip of your life. You will go on the trip and you will argue with your boyfriend. You will go on the trip, you'll lose something. Someone will steal your passport or something. So I say that because see the neutrality in everything. If you're on this amazing trip, what's the bad in it? Oh, you're gonna leave your home. Oh, you're gonna leave your puppy. That's what I was saying, I'm leaving my dog. Which also leads me to that first day where I was having a shitty time in Austin. I was getting texts from my dog sitter, Sophia's not eating. I'm like, of course. Literally when it rains, it pours. It was really forcing me to root to my knowing, hey, this is working out for me, not against me. All of these situations are working out for me to throw in my face, hey, these are things that need to be shifted. Shift these emotional imbalances because they're not serving you anymore. I am so glad that I trusted me. If I was sitting here today and didn't go because someone else told me to, I know I would have been shooting myself in the foot. I could have had the worst trip the entire time and I wouldn't care because I'm like, I did what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, I showed the universe, I showed my higher self, hey, I'm going to trust me and bet on me always and not ignore any intuitive pull no matter what. Not saying you need to act on every intuitive pull either. Ask questions about it. And with Austin, even with the questions I asked, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see where my mentor is coming from, but I'm also seeing, hey, this is really fucking good for me, so I'm going to go. And I approached Austin, my Austin trip, with the lens of playful curiosity. Again, how did this make you feel? Are you happier after it? Yeah, there were definitely times during it I felt shitty, anxious, scared, like literally. On the other side of it, today, I'm so happy I went. Beyond happy I went. And that's the goal, is to approach not even just the trips you're going on, but any little thing you're doing. Hey, how did this make me feel? How did I feel before doing this thing? How did I feel during doing this thing? How did I feel after doing this thing? Do it with even like, if you want to post social media content, okay, I get that too. You sometimes dread it. You sometimes what do I talk about? Maybe you get a little anxious if this is your first time doing it. Okay, this is how I feel before. Let me doc how I feel during. Maybe during, I feel like I could have said that better. I feel as if I was stuttering. I feel as if I want a better explanation for how to say this. Great. Take that as data points. Again, you're all little scientists out there. You're all little childlike curiositors out there. See how you feel after. Wow, I feel so good that I finally just put myself out there and posted on social media. Step one is just doing it. And all those data points about how you felt before, during, and after, just use it for next time. How can I mitigate some of these feelings of anxiety, not feeling safe, these fears? How can I mitigate this or make this better for next time? Because trust me, that physical proof of finally posting is the best lesson compared to just sussing it out or replaying what ifs on repeat in your head. Okay, and I only have one announcement. We sent out waitlist emails last week. If you did not receive one, please reach out to info@meganmillan.com. But other than that, thank you for spending your time with me. We'll see you next week.